The opportunity one thought would never come again. The email at 5:17 a.m. At exactly 5:17 a.m., Malik Johnson's phone vibrated on the cracked nightstand beside his bed. He was already awake. Sleep had stopped coming easily ever since the layoffs. The small apartment was quiet except for the hum of the refrigerator and the sound of the city waking up outside his window. Malik stared at the ceiling, counting the water stains he had memorized months ago. Buzz. He reached for the phone without much hope. Most emails these days were polite rejections. Thank you for your interest. We regret to inform you. We've decided to move forward with other candidates. He opened this one anyway. His breath caught. Wait, what? He whispered. The subject line read, Final interview invitation. Horizon Creative Solutions. Malik sat up so fast the blanket fell to the floor. No way, he said aloud, scrolling. The words blurred as his heart started pounding. They wanted to see him again. In person. For the role he had once dreamed of but stopped believing was possible. The opportunity he thought would never come again. 2 years earlier, Malik had been someone else. Confident. Employed. Hopeful. He worked as a junior creative director at a media firm downtown. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid well. He had health insurance. A routine. A future. Then the pandemic aftermath hit harder than anyone expected. One Monday morning, the entire staff was called into a virtual meeting. His manager didn't even look at the camera. I'll get straight to it, the man said. We're restructuring. Some positions are being eliminated. Malik already knew. When his name appeared on the list, his chest went cold. After the call ended, Malik sat alone in silence. No dramatic music. No warning. Just a gone. That was the beginning of everything falling apart. Malik didn't tell his mother right away. Or his younger sister, Aisha. He told himself it was temporary. I'll bounce back, he said in the mirror. I always do. But weeks turned into months. Savings disappeared. The fridge became emptier. He started skipping meals, not because he wanted to, but because it was easier than admitting he was struggling. One evening, Aisha stopped by unannounced. She opened the fridge, then closed it slowly. You okay? She asked carefully. Malik shrugged. Yeah, I'm good. She didn't argue. She just hugged him. And that hurt more than any argument would have. Malik applied everywhere. Big companies. Small startups. Freelance gigs. Some never replied. Others replied weeks later with apologies that sounded copied and pasted. One recruiter laughed during a phone call. You've been unemployed for how long? The woman asked. Almost a year, Malik replied quietly. There was a pause. Then she said, That's a long gap. He wanted to scream. Instead, he thanked her politely and hung up. That night, he stared at his laptop and whispered, What more do you want from me? The room didn't answer. Then Horizon Creative happened. A former colleague forwarded him the opening. You should try, she said. You're perfect for this. Malik almost didn't apply. But he did. First interview. Great. Second. Amazing. Third. Personal. Then silence. Weeks passed. Nothing. Malik checked his inbox obsessively. Then one morning, the rejection came. We went with another candidate. He closed the laptop and didn't open it again for days. That rejection broke something deep inside him. He stopped hoping. Malik took a warehouse job. Night shifts. Heavy lifting. Minimum pay. His hands grew rough. His dreams shrank. During breaks, co-workers talked about survival, not purpose. One night, a man beside him said, Dreams don't pay rent. Malik nodded, even though it hurt. He started believing it. That's why the email at 5:17 a.m. felt unreal. He read it again. And again. They wanted to see him. The same company. The same role. A different time. Malik laughed, a sound half joy, half disbelief. Then fear crept in. What if I mess it up? What if I'm not enough anymore? He closed his eyes and whispered, "Please, just let this be real." Malik called his mother first. "Ma," he said, voice shaking. "I got another chance." She gasped. "I knew it. I knew God wasn't done with you." Then Aisha. She screamed so loud he had to pull the phone away. "I told you," she said. "You don't get erased." That sentence stayed with him. On the morning of the interview, Malik wore his old suit. It was slightly tight, but clean. He looked at himself in the mirror. Not broken, not defeated, just seasoned. "I'm still here," he said softly. The interview room was bright. The panel smiled. One of them said, "We remember you." Another added, "You grew." Malik didn't pretend life had been easy. He told the truth. About failure. About resilience. About learning who he was when no one was watching. When it ended, the lead interviewer said, "Thank you for not giving up." 2 days later, the call came. "Malik," the voice said, "we'd like to offer you the position." He couldn't speak. Tears filled his eyes. "This opportunity," the woman continued, "came back to you because you were ready." Malik didn't celebrate loudly. He sat quietly on his bed and breathed. He thought about the version of himself who believed it was over. He wished he could tell him one thing. Some opportunities don't disappear. They wait. Malik started his new job with gratitude, not arrogance. He worked harder, loved deeper, judged less. And whenever someone told him they felt forgotten, he listened. Because he knew. The opportunity he thought would never come again came back. And this time, he was ready. Malik arrived early. Too early. The lobby lights were still warming up when he walked in, coffee in hand, heart beating faster than it should. The receptionist smiled politely. "You must be excited," she said. He nodded, trying not to show it. The elevator ride felt longer than it was. When the doors opened, familiar faces turned toward him, some curious, some welcoming, some measuring him silently. A man from the interview panel stepped forward. "Welcome back," he said. "For real this time." Malik smiled, but inside he felt the weight of expectations settle on his shoulders. This wasn't just a job. It was proof, to himself, that he still belonged. By the end of the first week, doubt crept in. Meetings moved fast. Ideas flew across the room. Malik contributed, but every word felt like it had to earn its place. At lunch, he sat alone, replaying conversations in his head. Did I sound confident or desperate? That night, Aisha called. "You're quiet," she said. "I feel like they'll realize I don't fit," Malik admitted. She laughed softly. "You didn't sneak in. They invited you." He let that sink in. 2 weeks in, a tense meeting ended with silence. There was a stalled project, over budget, behind schedule, nearly abandoned. No one volunteered. Malik raised his hand before he could overthink it. "I'll take it," he said. A few heads turned. The lead manager hesitated. "It's complicated." Malik nodded. So was unemployment. The room broke into nervous laughter. He got the project. Malik worked late for days. He listened more than he spoke. Asked questions others avoided. Rebuilt trust with patience instead of flash. Some nights, exhaustion brought back old fears. What if this ends again? But each morning, progress greeted him. The project slowly came alive. The day of the presentation arrived. Malik stood at the front of the room, palms steady, voice clear. He spoke about vision, structure, and honesty. About mistakes and solutions. When he finished, there was silence. Then applause. Not loud. Respectful. Real. The lead manager smiled. This is what we needed. Weeks later, an email went out company-wide praising the turnaround. Malik's name was there. No spotlight. No dramatic praise. Just acknowledgement. And that meant everything. At home that night, Malik sat on the couch and let himself feel proud, without fear. One evening, Malik passed the warehouse on his way home. The night shift was starting. For a moment, the old ache surfaced. Then it softened. That season didn't define him. It prepared him. Months later, a new hire hesitated outside a meeting room. Malik noticed. "You're allowed to speak," he told her gently. She smiled, relieved. That's when Malik understood the real gift of the second chance. Not just success, but empathy. The opportunity didn't just come back. It came back different. It came back with responsibility, with humility, with purpose. Malik learned that sometimes life closes a door not to punish you, but to rebuild you quietly, so when it opens again, you walk through stronger. And when it did, he didn't rush. He stepped in, grounded, ready. Malik didn't notice the change at first. It came quietly, like most real shifts in life. More people stopped by his desk. More questions were directed at him in meetings. His calendar filled up faster than it used to. One afternoon, his manager, Renee, called him into her office. "Close the door," she said, smiling. Malik's chest tightened automatically. Old reflex. "You're not in trouble," she added, noticing his expression. She slid a document across the desk. "We want you to lead a small team." Malik stared at the paper. "A leadership role?" he asked. "You already lead," Renee replied. "This just makes it official." He walked out of that office feeling taller, but careful. He knew how fragile confidence could be. Leading others felt different than leading himself. Now, mistakes didn't just affect him. One of his team members, Jordan, missed a deadline badly. In the old days, Malik might have panicked, or distanced himself. Instead, he called Jordan in. "Talk to me," Malik said calmly. Jordan exhaled. "I'm struggling." I didn't want to say it out loud. Malik nodded. "Thank you for trusting me." That night, Malik realized leadership wasn't about control. It was about safety. One evening, Malik received a message on LinkedIn. It was from his former manager, the one who laid him off. "Saw your recent work. Proud of you." Malik stared at the screen for a long time. Anger rose, then faded. He replied simply, "Thank you." I grew. He didn't need validation anymore. Success didn't erase exhaustion. Malik started staying late again. Skipping meals again. One night, Aisha showed up with groceries. No warning. "You're doing it again," she said, setting bags on the counter. "I'm fine," Malik replied automatically. She looked at him. "You survived by shrinking once. Don't succeed by disappearing." That sentence stopped him cold. Malik took his first real vacation in years. No laptop. No checking emails. Just sleep, walks, and long conversations with his mother. One afternoon she said, "I worried when you were quiet back then." "I didn't want to scare you," Malik replied. She held his hand. "Next time, let me worry." He promised himself he would. For the first time, Malik allowed himself to dream bigger, but healthier. Not just titles. Not just money. But balance. Impact. Peace. He started mentoring young creatives from his old neighborhood on weekends. They reminded him of who he used to be: hungry, unsure, brilliant. One of the Ments, a quiet girl named Nia, landed her first internship. She cried when she told him. "You made space for me," she said. Malik shook his head. "You walked through it." But he understood what she meant. Opportunity isn't just something you chase. Sometimes, it's something you become. At a company event, Malik was asked to speak. He didn't prepare a polished speech. He told the truth. "I once believed my best chance had passed," he said. It hadn't. It was waiting for me to grow into it. The room was quiet. Listening. One late night, Malik stood by his window again. Same apartment. Different man. The city hummed below. He thought about the version of himself who opened that email at 5:17 a.m., afraid to hope. He smiled. Malik learned something life-changing. Some opportunities don't leave. They step aside. They watch who you become when things are quiet, hard, and unseen. And when they return, they don't come to save you. They come to meet you. Stronger. Wiser. Ready. Success didn't announce its shadow. It slipped in quietly. A restructuring memo landed in Malik's inbox on a Tuesday morning. Different department. Different scope. New leadership above him. Nothing alarming, on paper. But by Friday, meetings were cancelled. Decisions stalled. The air changed. Renee stopped by his desk. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Things might shift, she said carefully. Malik nodded. He had learned not to panic at the first sign of movement. Still, something old stirred in his chest. Not fear. Memory. Weeks passed. Budgets tightened. Projects paused. One afternoon, Jordan asked quietly, "Are we okay?" Malik looked at his team, people who trusted him. "We're honest," he said. "That's how we stay okay." But that night, alone, he sat on the edge of his bed and admitted the truth to himself. He was scared. Not of losing the job. Of losing himself again. The old Malik would have overworked. Panicked. Gone silent. This time, he did something different. He asked for a meeting. With leadership. "I don't need guarantees," Malik said calmly. "I need clarity." The room was quiet. One executive finally said, "Most people don't ask that." Malik replied, "Most people are afraid to." They respected that, even if answers were incomplete. That evening, Malik wrote in a notebook he hadn't opened in years. "If this ends, who am I?" The answer surprised him. Still enough. The fear loosened its grip. A week later, Renee called him. "There's a new initiative," she said. "Risky. Unclear. Cross-functional." Malik smiled faintly. "You want me to lead it?" "I trust you," she replied. He accepted, not because he was fearless, but because he was grounded. The new role came without titles or attention. Just work. Collaboration. Tension.